Speaker, and as has already been said just a little bit earlier on this floor, here we go again. I guess the straw harvest was good this fall because I was, from like my colleague, I was hoping that there would be some stuff changed, but undoubtedly it's not, because the straw harvest was good, and it's now time to put up straw men when we talk about regulatory reform, and we're back at it again. Instead of discussing the issues of regulatory reform, and by the way, we're going to have, I want to comment just a moment on regular order and the fact that stuff that's been talked about. We have two separate rules today. This is a rule that deals with the regulatory issues and regulatory reforms, two bills, and we have a rule that's going to come up here in just a little bit that deals with repealing Obamacare and dealing with the heinous issues of Planned Parenthood. That's a separate bill. I would want to talk about something else too instead of the regulatory issues that are here, because they do matter. They do create jobs. And as we look at this, the one thing that always comes across, Mr. Speaker, as we think about this, is a very clear choice, especially from constituents all over the country, and my district in particular, is when I think about this, and one of the main arguments against this is that it will burden the government, so it's bad. The problem is the government right now, through the regulatory process, is burdening small businesses, burdening families who simply want to be able to get up, go to work, do their job, and be free of unnecessary burdensome regulations. Again, we want to talk about throwing up the straw man that the Republicans are out here poisoning the air, bad paint, terrible ideas, killing kids. That's not what we're talking about. Again, the straw the harvest is ripe. The straw is being developed. And instead of talking about getting rid of regulatory process, we're going to talk about, we're taking away safety. There is no Republican on this side of the aisle that I have ever heard stand from this place or from anywhere else and say, I want dirty water. Give me choking air. Give me paint that is bad. Give me products that are terrible. That is not what is ever said. And when that argument is brought up, it simply cheapens and demeans the process. Mr. Speaker, one of the things that was just said is we need to that we don't want to have public comment, that you have to answer to public comment, that a government agency would have to answer to public comment. In fact, one of the issues is H.R. 712 actually addresses this, because these sue and settlement agreements can take place without the affected party even being in the room or even know it's happening. Tell me where that is fair. Show me where two people can go in a room and decide what's best for me in a business environment, and show me where that's fair. It's not fair, and you can't argue that it is. Comment to the government is expected, and government comment should be respected before these regulations or these consent decrees are put out. We all have various roles, and the executive branch has their role, and there are places where they need, and we are appreciative of the work that is done. What is being talked about in these bills is, let's make it more efficient. Let's make it better, because what we have in Washington is, I would rather see this body take up the policy arguments, this body discuss the billions of dollars in costs that are being implemented on businesses, and not agencies who have no answerability to the public. So when we look at this, these are just the small things that we want to talk about what is actually coming to the floor. And with that, I have the privilege of sharing the Rules Committee with my friend from Washington State who is going to speak on that, and I yield to my friend as much time as he may consume.
The gentleman from